You clicked here for fun. Well, today we're unveiling the most fun range DPS in 10.1.5, in our humble opinion. And not only that, we're looking at what makes a range DPS fun. Its mechanics, its fantasy, its talent builds, diversity. How much damage does it do?
Well, damage is aside, man, because we're not talking about meta hero performance, because just having fun and not caring about that is so refreshing. And
yes,
I mean, you know, when I play my Shaman, you saw what I just did yesterday?
Yeah, man, everybody saw that, including my mama, because you shared it everywhere. Jesus, that was with Outplayed, right?
Oh yeah, it was definitely with Outplayed, because I have it running in the background, recording everything that I do, because I have some plays. And once I'm out of the game, I just go into my session, because it has the session thing there. And if you click on the session, you can find your little play, the moment that you destroyed the meters. Clip it with the little scissors icon, name the clip, which you have to do it because you gotta know what clip it is.
You have to be organized, come on.
And then you can find the clip by clicking the generated clips. It takes you to the actual video file that you did, and you can even share it by, there's like big buttons there to share on all of the socials so that everybody knows, so that Marcelian doesn't miss any of my plays.
Not just me, but the whole entire neighborhood. But hey, you can have an easy time recording your clips at a big quality, not occupying super high space, easy mode, just to click there, a click here, a click on the description to download Outplayed.
Or in the comments.
Or in the comments, yes, okay, you're gonna support Marcelian Online, and thank you Outplayed for sponsoring the video. Once again, check the link in the description and use it because we do as well. Helps us out. Thank you very much.
And let's actually check Affliction, man.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Affliction in terms of fun. What makes Affliction fun? I would say it's like core mechanics is like very, very fun. I guess
they definitely improved
spreading the diseases, the dots, and everything.
The cool part about playing a dot spec in dungeons is that you get to explode everybody that has your dots, and that's this feeling that you don't really have on any other spec. Maybe Shadow. And with the rework and the changes to the talents made it a little bit better. It's also performing a little bit better. You might know that already. And it's just a more fun spec to play overall, although I can definitely see that not a lot of people vibe with dot specs in AoE, but it's definitely better. I would put it around A tier.
It's definitely better than in the past, and it's not only dungeons, it's all across the board, raiding and dungeons, not exclusively to Mythic Plus, but it was needed a lot more for Mythic Plus.
For sure.
So it is there. Boomkins, the acquired taste for some people. I'm not gonna comment on Boomkins.
I like my chicken wings fried with this moonlight shadow.
From somebody who doesn't really vibe with it, from the outside, it looks really, really fun.
It is really cool. It has some of the most satisfying animations. It's very flashy. It's very disco. It has all the things. Plus, it does a lot of damage. And the fact that you're a druid, you can swap into a bear and do all the stuff. That is, right now, for me, my favorite DPS spec in the game. It has been for a couple of seasons now.
We're putting this in S tier.
S tier, baby. Go right ahead.
Okay.
Boomy forever.
Okay. I'm not gonna comment, man. It's fine. They're keeping it there. The arguments are performance-wise, sure.
Clock-a-doodle-doo.
Okay. You put it there because it's A tier in Mythic Plus rankings, man. That's why you put it there.
A little bit, just a little bit.
Okay, Arcane Mage, beneficiary of the rework. I would say the biggest thing is the orb thingy. Now it's much better. We like to see the orbs. We like to see balls falling around and dealing damage. It's all cool and dandy. I will say it didn't really move that much from the turret playstyle. I think they could have done it better in that department.
They didn't really touch on the intricacies between Spark and the Touch of the Magi, which still keeps you very engaged with a very, very specific and punishable combo rotation, which, I mean, it's fun once you get to master it, but it does take a little while, and it's a bigger barrier of entry than most specs have it. So for me, it kind of takes a little bit away from what Arcane could be.
C tier?
Sure.
You want it to be
C from
You wanted B tier.
Arcane.
Yeah, you wanted B tier.
No, it's C, because I feel like there's other specs in B that.
Yeah, this is the thing. We look at the rankings here, and we know something else is coming that will take proper place. So it's not like the worst, but it could use even more love from Blizzard. Let's say. Sure. BM Hunter, it's fun in its own capacity, being that it is, I think, like the funnest spec to play in any encounter.
It's very relaxing.
You can play it, basically.
There's no other spec like it. The fact that you're the melee of range specs, let's say, it's one of the most relaxing specs. It does have some intricacies to keep you engaged, not as much as every other spec here. But it is pretty fun. You get to play with a lot of pets. You have utility. You're basically a Swiss Army knife of every CC imaginable in the game. I think it has all of them. pretty much all of them. Yeah, for me, it's
he's
right
speaking about like melee's do mechanics, man. What are we talking about? This BM ignores mechanics in place. I, as a melee, have to like do the mechanics, and sometimes I cannot play because of that mechanic. I'm not complaining, just saying, don't you fuck up with melees, man.
Listen, man, I don't care about mechanics. No. BM is A tier.
It's BAM tier. It's mastery. It's there. Okay. It needs like a little bit more spectacle to its toolkit to be an S tier, but okay. Demonology Warlock. Do you still love this spec?
I love the spec. I still feel like with the addition of Pit Lord, they need to make that a permanent. And, well, they did add the customizable options for pits, which is really nice flavor to have, because visually, you kind of want to engage with the spec as well, because we don't engage visually with all of the specs here.
What do you mean, man?
Demonology
we're not there yet.
It's very fun. It lacks a little bit in its AoE power, which is a little bit of a bummer when you're doing higher content, but that's not the point. I think it's fun. It could use a little bit more modernization to its toolkit. I'm still waiting for my permanent Doomguard pet to come back, which is probably never gonna come back. But until then, it's gonna be A tier alongside the Beastmastery.
So many A tiers. Right, we'll keep it A tier. It's like definitely fulfills one of the most coolest fantasies in the game, with all of the demons and all the multitudes of imps. And I agree with the Pit Lord stuff. They need to have that a little bit more bombastic over there.
Bombalicious.
Distro Warlock.
It's a fun spec.
It is fun, but okay, let's kind of like grade it a little bit, because I think the more you can get a lot more enjoyment with Demonology than with this.
Oh, for sure. Well, the thing is, no, I do actually agree, because there is not a lot of build diversity, where Demo has about 7 potential builds. Destruction probably has like 2 or 3. They did work on it a little bit in 10.1.5 by making Crashing Castle a bit better. I still hope that they do more, because Infernals are such a fun mechanic to play with. And the fact that the coolest moment in Destruction only happens once every 3 minutes, let's say 2 minutes if you're playing the Wilfrid's thing, then it kind of takes away from the spec. Its mechanics is very responsive. It has like the Boomkin satisfaction, where you just finally launch your consumer, your finisher off, and that's really fun. But it has a lot of issues.
We can give Chaos Bolt its credit, because it is one of the most impactful and most coolest abilities in the game, and when it hits and it has that impact, you see those big numbers, it is fun, okay?
Big numbers is saying a lot, though.
Yeah, well, it used to be a time, so...
It's a little bit lower than Demo. We have to put it
into B tier, okay? It's still fun in its own capacity, okay? We're not gonna throw it. And even Arcane is okay, guys. Like, if you enjoy it, it's fine. Fire Mage, okay, Fire Mage, boom, here you go.
Instantly.
I mean, come on, man. This, like, have you played with the rework?
It's hard to argue. No. They're definitely doing way better.
Like, they kind of, like, more or less fixed it, moving from Shadowlands to Dragonflight, iterated upon it, and now with this rework, it's just, like, almost perfect. There's still a couple of issues with the spec, obviously, but overall, it's even more fluid. It's obviously the... augmentations, what do you call that?
The buddy, sure. I mean, I don't know
outside of that.
I'm not a big fan of target capping, but they did target cap Flame Strike, and I think there's a positive there as well, because they can actually increase its raw damage since it doesn't hit infinite targets anymore. They can play around with the knobs of the numbers again, so it doesn't turn like Shadowlands, where you just infinitely hit Flame Strikes on all of the targets. So that's probably going to be good overall, but
they kept it because they know there's a 10.2 coming and a 10.3, and that shit is gonna just go bananas. But no, overall the spec is like great to play all across the board.
It's finally doing really well.
Fulfills all of the fantasy.
No more Rune of Power shenanigans.
No more Rune of Power. No, the hard casting Pyroblast right now for activating the Sun King's Blessing now also has impact and makes sense. It's a lot more fluid. Plus the general talent tree changes for the mage that go in conjunction with some of the spec tree. It's amazing. Go play Fire Mage. You're gonna have a blast. Frost Mage.
Well, take a chill pill and
put it into S tier, man. There's one ability that brings this spec back.
It's so hard to argue with that, because Glacial Spike is
we love Glacial Spike. Whenever they introduced that,
it's funny that Glacial Spike hits harder than Chaos Bolt.
It looks so good. It sounds so good.
It's what a long castable ability should be.
Yes, I agree. But okay, it's thematically for Frost Mages, okay, and then the whole sound, the crackling. like super hard freeze ice thing.
I think if we're gonna put it side by side, I think Fire Mage's rework is better than Frost Mage's. However, Frost Mage has more moments, a little bit more often, and I feel like if they keep iterating on Frost Mage, it can probably rival Fire Mage a little bit better. But right now, I would probably like shoot Glacial Spikes all the time.
Marksmanship Hunter, man.
Marksmanship is around B tier. It has the fun part of what Destruction has. It does have its aim shots, which are really cool. They do a lot of damage, similar to Chaos Bolts. You fire them kind of almost at the same rate, but it's missing, like similar to BM, it's missing not necessarily the pet fancy, although I am biased towards pets, I like pets, but it feels like it's missing something cool that its other brother spec could do a little bit better. So I cannot, in good faith, put it next to BM.
Yeah, I didn't really play BM since Legion, so I'm not gonna comment on it. BM a marksman, so I'm just gonna place it in B tier. Trusting your.
It's fun. It's more fun than Arcane.
Yeah, from the outside at least, from what I see, I'm not that impressed. Sure. I mean, I would prefer to play survival all day long, to be honest. But that's melee. Okay, Bombs. Devastation Evoker. Like at the core of it, this is a fun spec. I don't want to sound like a broken record here and talk about the visuals, but I am going to sound like a broken record here and talk about the visuals. When it comes to fun, for me, I like to enjoy what I'm seeing. And sure, you can talk about the spells, which are cool, and all the animations that come out of it and all. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at like a wiggly lizard over there, trying to do an African
What if they
dance.
gave you permanent visage form, a permanent human form?
No, I don't like that. Listen, whenever you tell me I have a dragon class or a drag tier class that is some way related to dragons, I want that feel of a dragon. So for me, because of that, like if I cannot visually be pleased by my own avatar in there, not talking about spells and animations from those, if that doesn't please me, I'm not going to rank it.
I think the biggest letdown was that it's called a dragon, where it could just have been called something like lizardy, like Sethrak from BFA or whatever, the snaky people. Because I'm thinking
limpy lizard.
I'm thinking Skyrim, where you have like lizard people, and that's fine. Or Elder Scrolls games where you have
like this.
Lizard people, and that's fine, but you cannot call those dragons, and the semblance is way too close. You cannot really call drag theaters dragons as well, and that takes away from the fantasy and the amazingness of it. Its rotation is still pretty good. I would put it next to Marksmanship and Destro.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it that. For me, this would have been here, but
it has some fun, man. It's fun to breathe.
It's fun, and it's not that complicated either. So you can definitely get fast into it and get some results. Elemental Shaman, traditionally a very favorite spec on our channel because we like its theme, we like its sounds, we like its looks, and I would say currently the gameplay is also pretty good. It's complex for some.
It's probably I've dabbled into Elemental and I've dabbled into the mages. Although Arcane Mage is probably more mechanically harder to play, Elemental feels like you're just juggling 10,000 things, which is satisfying. And they did up on all of the cool stuff that we used to love about Elemental, even more with Lightning Rod, where now you just have constant lightning zapping a target once you Earth Shock it or Earthquake it. I think it's really fun. I wouldn't put it in S tier, but it would definitely
A tier for sure. I wouldn't see it any other way. I'm sorry, man. It's cool. Shadow Priest, again, what's S tier has to be placed here. Look, we know like Shadow Priest has had a pretty bumpy road during Dragonflight, but I feel like where it's at now,
it's just before another bumpy road. The reworks are never going to stop. But
it's so good, man.
No, it's really good. They did to the devs' credit, they did work on a lot of the issues. Although I didn't particularly mind Mines here. It's not that bad without Mines here. I would probably definitely put it behind the mages because I feel like in terms of build diversity, the fact that you don't have as many builds as you did last patch, from what I've seen so far, takes a little bit away, but it's so satisfying to play. It's so much better in terms of everything else. It's missing probably like 10% to be probably better than Boomkin for me.
Yeah, plus it delivers on the fantasy as it never did in the past. Everything is like, I just love the whole old god thematic stuff over there. Yeah. It's like, and even the sounds and animations.
The whispers that you constantly hear.
Yeah, it's so good. You cannot put Shadow Priest in terms of fun in our humble opinion because it's a very subjective tier list. This one, it has to be S tier. Augmentation Evoker. Apart from breaking the meta, but we have to say it like
I will say my piece and I'll let you rank it. So I've played Augmentation Evoker. I think it's probably one of the best specs they could have added for the game in terms of in terms of fun, in terms of health of the meta, in terms of the diversity that you can have while playing range.
Man, it's
very
refreshing.
Yeah. In terms of the playstyle, however, personally, it didn't vibe as much with me. It's a lot of maintaining things, which is fun, and the funner parts of augmentation, which is its cool animations that is breaking the earth apart.
Yeah.
It's still a lizard by the end of the day.
I know.
It's those are very far and in between, and those are like the coolest things that you can do with augmentation. I would hope that I could just do more. A lot of augmentation rotation is just mindlessly spamming the same button, which gets very tedious after a while. And compared to, for instance, with Beast Mastery Hunter, I feel like it's more engaging to play Beast Mastery than augmentation. But that's obviously me.
What a random comparison. Just put in Beast Mastery Hunter on the spot when talking about spamming.
Listen, it's way more difficult because everybody wants to make sure that Beast Mastery is mentioned to be the simplest spec in the game.
No. But again, this indeed is something that I think kind of like shaked up everything. Not only the meta, it's something that will probably have like huge ripple effects throughout like World of Warcraft's life.
Definitely.
I will not put it into S tier.
A little ahead of Devastation, sure, but it has to be behind everybody.
This is the thing, right? Again, it has like the coolest animations and spell effects for sure, and I love the fantasy of a black dragon themed spec.
Oh, yes.
This would have been a huge opportunity to give us something more dragony to look at, but because of
not
that,
as much, no.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in B tier here.
Yeah.
No, fuck it, I'll put it in T tier because it is fun. No, okay, it is.
Its impact in the game cannot be denied outside of its minuses that are pretty much the same as Devastation as well. I think it deserves a higher ranking than Devastation.
It definitely deserves it, and you can see like we added this as Blizzard added in the last minute. Nobody expected this. Look at the icon. Okay, it's a little bit different, but once again, it's very subjective. This is how we see things and how we look at like when having fun with our range specs. Okay, don't take this at home and debate what's meta or not.
We're not talking about meta and how it broke the meta. Actually,
it's not the meta. Okay, it's just having fun, and that's the most important thing. When you're having fun, make sure to record all those clips and edit them quickly and outplay it, okay? The link is in the description. By the way, if you do want to see how the meta was broken, check this video out. Here. Look at that. Look at that. It's we're unveiling the secrets over there. It's really cool. Check it out. Thank you for watching.